brawler, a Kazuya. We're seeing his Corrin right now, of course. But I think just that fundamental, that fundamental variety that Haven has could mix up his opponent like Deltaforce, who is just a stalwart when it comes to mental composure and just getting all these setups with bombs.
And these two have been pretty back and forth in the past. The last time they faced off, Haven actually took the W, so, following the seeding of this tournament, but the three before that, it was the Deltaforce show, so it could go either way this time. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with Deltaforce is that he has that ability to just throw out a lot of, these lingering hitboxes like you see with those up airs to catch out his opponent. And Link has a lot of big hitboxes, that the Hero Spin, of course, which has taken so many stocks. And you've seen before against players like Sinister, against players like earlier Seals, where he'll go for the reverse up B and it catches his opponents, on ledge. So you can't be caught slacking against a character like Link, who can just throw out all of these projectiles, all these hitboxes, and you have to be so careful with how you land, how you approach, and a really good recovery from Haven. But is it a little bit too late, as his percentage is a little bit high? It's not going to kill just yet, but you got to be careful.
And we were talking about Hero as the dishonest mid-tier, but I feel like there's so many characters like this in the game, Link being definitely one of them, where, as you mentioned, you get your opponent at the ledge, and it just feels like that set play can become so oppressive, and Deltaforce clearly very proficient in using that and able to take the first stock. And now the onus is already on Haven to figure out a way back into this game before it gets out of hand.
It's definitely difficult because Corrin as a character that is so good and has perfected their juggling ability, of course, with up air, even with Nair, as you see right there, getting the up airs. But Link just has that ability to come back with that Nair, as you saw it caught Haven just a little bit. And those little hits, it doesn't matter if it's the strong hit or if it's the weak hit, that Nair is going to interrupt a lot of what Haven wants to, execute. And as you can see right there, trying to follow up with those Z-drop Nairs with the bomb.
It's also so easy for Deltaforce with Link to mix up your timing. Haven obviously playing a character who loves to shark. They throw you up in the air and then they just juggle you forever. And of course that Nair is a threat, but then you combine that with the very unique jump stats of Link, where his fast fall, instead of doing the typical accelerating you by 60%, it does it by 90%. So if Haven's not ready for it, all of a sudden, Link's way above you and then just zoom, he's on top of you.
No, that's the thing, is that, oh my god, a little bit of a custom combo right there from Deltaforce. But again, we were talking about setups and just his ability to be able to edge guard a character like Corrin, despite him not having, the best recovery. Just being able to stay on stage, getting those lingering hitboxes, of course, with Nair, forward air, connecting all these boomerangs, all these moves is really what's causing and allowing Deltaforce to get all of this advantage. Not only that, but potentially take game number one, because look at this huge deficit that Haven needs to make up right now. Of course, going for these backers, going for all these aerials, hasn't really played a grounded game, and Deltaforce is absolutely loving it right now, as he's been catching Haven jumping a little bit too much.
It's getting spicy. You got to make something happen. I feel like Haven is getting tons and tons of stray hits. It's just there's no conversions off of them. Meanwhile, every time Deltaforce gets a hit, it's a situation like that, where you're immediately in the tech chase or in the juggle situation where one read will close out the stock. Speaking of a read closing out the stock, okay, Haven getting back into this.
And now you got to watch out because, you're at kill percentage, and I talked about it before, just generally speaking, the kill power, the raw kill power that Link possesses, of course, with, Hero Spin out of shield, which we really haven't seen Delta do a lot, maybe because that's just an online thing. But it's definitely a good out of shield option to do, and of course that Nair, such a good move. Honestly, in my opinion, one of, if not the best Nairs in this game. But Haven making it known that despite him getting edge guarded earlier, he has that ability to do so as well. With Corrin, you gotta watch out though, that back throw sends you back into disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, again, it's Link in the corner, so scary, and tries to find a way to the center stage, hunting for that Pokeball, but the up tilt going to close it out for game number one in Deltaforce's favor.
again, that just goes to show you how well Deltaforce does to condition his opponents to go for really bad options. As you can see here, all Haven could really do was jump, and then all it takes is, you know, a straight hit like up tilt, forward tilt, any of these moves that, you know, are big and can do a lot of knockback to take out these stocks. And again, that's what happens when you have all these hitboxes being thrown out like Boomerang, like Bomb. Kind of just that you know, sets that fear factor in your opponent, being like, hey, I have this move out, you have to respect it, and if you don't respect it, I'm gonna hit you with something that will kill you. And that's exactly what happened with Deltaforce right there. So Haven might have to consider maybe switching a character, or maybe he sticks out with the Corrin. I don't know, but
yeah,
nonetheless, we're gonna switch stages.
I am very curious, as you have a player like Haven who has these deep pockets. That's something that's becoming more and more prominent as this game progresses. You know, we're 5 years in now, so everybody's tried multiple characters, and so when you're in these matchups where you're feeling kind of awkward, you're not really sure how to play it, sometimes you have to go for the comfort pick.
Going to small battlefield, interesting.
What's the music though?
Good music. You talked about it, you know, all these deep pockets that Haven has, like I mentioned before, you know, Mii Brawler. And generally speaking, his fundamentals are absolutely crazy, and that's kind of what has allowed him to do so good. I was about to say, dude, if I saw his view, I would be absolutely livid right now. But this is Delta's chance to run those pockets down, empty them out, and kind of just rob Haven from getting this comeback. So Kazuya, not a bad option. A lot of super armor, a lot of invincibility coming out of this character that really negates a lot of what Deltaforce wants to go for.
At the same time, though, you gotta get. Well, I was about to talk about how you gotta get in. Haven showing you, nah, this is how you get in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, Kazuya has that pleasure.
X smash through the bomb.
There's no regard. This character has no regard for whatever move you have, like genuinely speaking. But that's what makes Kazuya so good. It's just the ability to be like, hey, you have a really strong move. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna super armor through it. Oh my god. Huge nairs from Deltaforce to potentially get Haven off stage and get a kill. The Dragon Laser gonna come out. Down air? Oh, but the scope! That's not gonna kill. It's not gonna kill.
That was so good from Deltaforce, and the double dip is going to be enough. We saw Haven starting to move in at the end there, but it was just enough to get the kill.
I mean, fair play to Delta, right? And misses the wings. No Red Bull, but that kick is gonna do the trick right there.
Das Boot.
Das Boot!
My man brought out Bigger Boot from SpongeBob on that one.
That's true. That boot with spikes?
Yeah, Bigger Boot!
Yeah, but
wait.
Oh, no nair. No nair to drag him down. Oh.
Wait, there's the nair. This is like the most scuffed combo I've ever seen, but it kind of worked. It did 73.
I mean, Kazuya again has that Das Boot!
Das Boot!
This is Sparta! And then he just gets the freaking forward tilt off. But that's the thing with Kazuya, is like, even though all of his, like, especially with Haven, even though all of his confirms look a little bit
Oh no! Oh, he really did it to him! Oh,
of course, you know, him being a Rutgers student, he has no remorse whatsoever for that stuff.
Kazuya Mishima wins.
But I think that's just good awareness from Haven, right? And just not being afraid to go for a move like that, where you're gonna, you know, get a kill from the suicide. And a good catch right there from Deltaforce. That's what Link can do. And people are just not aware of the fact that he has that ability, that mobility to kind of just get up there quickly and, you know, get these uppies, get these forward airs. A lot of moves that can catch you and get these reads. Not to mention the fact that Deltaforce, if he wanted to, could have read an air dodge and then, you know, planned accordingly. But 1-1, a game of peace between both these players, and I don't know if Haven's gonna switch because, yeah, his Kazuya was doing very good, and we go back onto small battlefield.
No shot you switch after that. With how well that went, Haven effectively got a 2-stock, took the suicide at the end there. Oh, and we got the combos.
Oh! Yeah, bro finally got the Ferps. He's just throwing out a lot of these hitboxes, and again, that's just what Kazuya is able to do. You know, throw out a bunch of electric wings, and it just hits. It's crazy what this character can do.
Just saw the boot coming out again, and actually using the reflector. Not enough Kazuya's used that option. F smash going to send him off stage. Good stall with the laser. Can you get back? No, the bomb. So well spaced. What? Oh, he whiffed.
Unfortunate right there. Yeah, Delta definitely was about to get that stock. Oh, but the bomb finally gonna get that stock.
Delta's edge guards against Kazuya are insane. Obviously, this character a little bit linear off the stage once they commit to an option, but Deltaforce is so good, so clean at taking advantage of that.
I mean, we talked about, you know, Haven having Das Boot, of course, but Link having Das Fight the Boot, actually.
He just needs Das Bomb.
Das Bomb. But no, those back airs are so volatile. They do so much damage. Not only that, but they lead up to a lot of combos. And Delta's been making the most use out of those, you know, those back air combos. And I mean, right now, of course, you're not seeing it because he's just juggling Haven like we're in a circus right now, making him look like an absolute clown with how he's trying to land. And Delta,
well,
we're seeing
good news. It's a 3-stock circus, so he has some time. Unfortunately, might be about to get 3 stocks. Talk about a turnaround. That is the volatility of Kazuya. If you can't get your pressure started, no, not gonna kill.
Link is beefy.
He's been drinking his mom's milk. Okay, that's gonna kill though.
Isn't his mom like? I'm not gonna say it. I don't know the lore.
Oh no, it's the grandma,
I don't know
right?
the Zelda lore.
It's the grandma that gives him milk in.
Right. You're right. In Wind Waker. But this is Breath of the Wild we're talking about. It's a different game.
True.
And clearly
it's been 100 years since he had that milk.
Yeah, a different game nonetheless. That Deltaforce is playing oh. That adaptation from Deltaforce was amazing. He was definitely playing a different game that, you know, he was on a different playing field that Haven was on. This was like the equivalent of the Dolphins absolutely running over the Broncos 70 to 20.
Oh, you don't have to do them like that.
Hey man, Broncos Nation, let's ride. But Deltaforce riding out that game, and I mean, when you have, you know, a game advantage, of course, beating out that Corrin that first game, you now have the ability and you know, the luxury of just being able to adapt to that second game should you lose. And that's exactly what Deltaforce did. Saw that Haven had, you know, pretty solid advantage in that first game, but then made sure that Haven had no chance whatsoever to get, you know, his combos, his stray hits off, and Deltaforce getting his own. And again, really, really good conditioning, and that's what makes Deltaforce so good and a threat in New Jersey. That's why he's PR'd.
Yeah,
it's just his defensive game is amazing.
The back and forth between Haven and Deltaforce, I guess, continuing to make this rivalry just that much deeper. The tit for tat. Also, shout out chat for the correction here. It was actually soup in Wind Waker that the grandma had.
Soup.
It was soup. Which makes sense, because they didn't have, like, dairy cows or anything. So in the back of my head, I was thinking, where did the milk come from? Like, they have pigs. Is there, like, someone else, Farmer Joe next door, has a secret stash of cows that he's hiding?
It's like that one Adam Driver clip where he, like, bangs the table and says, good soup.
Either way, that soup is working, getting the double dose. If you know, you know. Shout out my Wind Waker enjoyers. Able to close out that set in a 2-1. But honestly, such a back and forth set. I really feel like it came down to what you were talking about with the adaptation. Deltaforce got kind of stomped on by the Kazuya the first time it came out. It was like, okay, I see what you're doing here. Managed to play around it a little bit better that last game, even after the first tech almost got him right away. And just those edge guards were too clean.
Yeah, again, it's just Delta's defensive gameplay that's so good. It's like, it's not even just the fact that, like, he's playing offensively, which he does very well, like, too, but his counterattacks have been so good, and you saw that clearly against Haven. Was just when Haven was trying to approach Delta, you know, was ready with the projectile to throw out, you know, Boomerang, of course, actually sparingly using Arrow, trusting his Boomerang and his bomb a lot more. And I mean, fair play. When you see that something is working, there's no point in, you know, trying to change that.
And Deltaforce was really good with the defensive boomerangs as well. For example, I saw a couple times in that set, throw out the boomerang, you get grabbed, and then your opponent can't follow up on their grab
Mhm.
because the boomerang's coming back, so they just have to respect it and you get out for free.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, up next we have an NJIT Ditto. Both of these players coming out of New Jersey Institute of Technology up in Newark. Both of these players definitely have had a lot of experience with playing against each other and especially with each other in the collegiate crew battles that New Jersey has to offer, which is also, presented by Collision. So again, if you guys
Okay,
want to see all
okay.
of those VODs, check out the YouTube channel. But right now, we're having a friendly fire kill between Soul and Deltaforce. So, Lentini, how do you feel against with Hero and Link? I feel like this is definitely an interesting